Nestled in the very heart of Rome, just east of the ancient Roman Forum, stands a structure of immense scale and enduring fame. The Colosseum. It is, without doubt, one of the most recognizable landmarks on the planet, a powerful stone skeleton that immediately conjures images of gladiators, emperors, and the sheer might of the Roman Empire. Its fame is not merely due to its age or its size, but because it represents a direct, tangible link to the daily life, the brutal entertainment, and the complex social order of ancient Rome. For centuries, it has captured the imagination of poets, artists, and travelers, each drawn to its story of grandeur and decay, a silent witness to history's relentless march. The construction of this grand amphitheatre, originally known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, was a masterful political move. It was started by the Emperor Vespasian around AD 72 on the site of a vast private lake that had been part of the extravagant golden house of the hated Emperor Nero. By building a public arena for the people in this very spot, Vespasian was symbolically returning the land to the citizens of Rome. His son Titus completed the main structure and inaugurated it with lavish games in AD 80. It was a gift from the new Flavian dynasty to their subjects, a place for shared spectacle that would cement their popularity and showcase the engineering prowess of their empire. In its heyday, the Colosseum served a singular bloody purpose. It was the premier venue for public entertainment. These events, known as munera, gladiatorial games, and venationes, animal hunts, were provided free of charge by the emperor or wealthy citizens. They were a way to keep the populace happy and distracted, a policy often summed up by the phrase bread and circuses. The arena was a stage for life and death struggles, a place where the Roman people could collectively experience thrill, fear, and the reaffirmation of their own power over man and beast. It was, in essence, the ultimate theatre of Roman life, reflecting both its sophisticated organization and its capacity for institutionalized violence. The sheer scale of the building is staggering, even by today's standards. Designed as a massive ellipse or oval, it measures approximately 189 meters long and 156 meters wide, with an outer wall soaring to a height of over 48 meters. This colossal structure was not just big, it was cleverly designed to manage enormous crowds efficiently. It could hold an estimated 50,000 to 80,000 spectators, a capacity that rivals many modern football stadiums. The genius of its design lay in its 80 entrances and exits at ground level, which allowed tens of thousands of people to find their seats quickly, and more importantly, to exit in an orderly fashion after the day's bloody spectacles had concluded. The seating within the Colosseum was a perfect mirror of Roman society's strict hierarchy. It was divided into 4 main tiers, each designated for a specific social class. The best seats, right down at the front in the Aima Cavea, were reserved for the most important people. The senators, who had marble seats inscribed with their names. Just above them sat the equites, or the knightly class, another wealthy and influential group. The third tier was for ordinary Roman citizens, the plebeians, while the very top section, the Summa Cavea, was reserved for the lower classes, including the poor, foreigners and women. This arrangement meant that every time someone entered the Colosseum, they were reminded of their precise place in the Roman world. The architectural genius of the Colosseum is visible in its very bones. The Romans were masters of construction, and they used a combination of materials to create this enduring marvel. The foundations were made of solid travertine stone blocks held together with iron clamps, providing immense strength. For the vast network of vaults and walls, they employed their revolutionary invention, concrete. This versatile material could be molded into the arches that are the Colosseum's defining feature. These repeating arches, arranged in 3 stories, were not just for decoration. They provided structural support and distributed the immense weight of the structure and created shaded walkways for the spectators. Each of the 3 main arched levels was adorned with a different style of column, a nod to classical Greek architecture. The ground floor featured the simple, sturdy Doric style. The second floor had the more elegant Ionic columns, and the third level was decorated with the ornate Corinthian style. This progression from simple to complex as the building rose added a sense of visual harmony and sophistication. Above these arches was a solid top story, fitted with sockets that held massive wooden masts. These masts supported the velarium, a colossal retractable awning that could be unfurled by a team of skilled sailors to provide shade for the spectators on hot sunny days. Beneath the wooden, sand-covered floor of the arena lay a whole other world, the Hypogeum. This was a complex, two-level, subterranean network of tunnels, passages and chambers. It was a marvel of backstage engineering, completely hidden from the audience's view. Here, gladiators would wait for their turn to fight, and wild animals brought from the farthest corners of the empire were kept in cages. A sophisticated system of lifts and trapdoors allowed these animals and fighters to be hoisted up, appearing as if by magic in the middle of the arena. This hidden machinery was crucial for creating the dramatic surprises and spectacles that the Roman crowd so adored. The events held within the Colosseum's arena were varied, spectacular, and almost unimaginably brutal. The day would often begin with the venationes, or wild animal hunts. Exotic creatures from across the empire, lions from Africa, bears from Caledonia, and tigers from Parthia, were pitted against each other or against armed hunters called bestiarii. These hunts were designed to showcase the vast reach and power of Rome, demonstrating its dominion over the natural world. Scenery, such as rocks and trees, would often be brought into the arena to recreate the animals' native habitats, adding a layer of theatricality to the bloody proceedings which thrilled the thousands watching from the stands. Following the morning's animal hunts, the midday period was typically reserved for public executions. Condemned criminals, prisoners of war and followers of outlawed religions were subjected to grim and inventive forms of death as a public deterrent. Some were thrown to the wild beasts left over from the morning's hunt, a spectacle known as damnatio ad bestias. Others were forced to reenact gruesome myths or were crucified. These executions served as a stark and brutal reminder of the state's absolute power and the consequences of defying Roman law, turning justice into a form of mass entertainment for the citizens of the city. The main event and the spectacle most famously associated with the Colosseum was the gladiatorial combat, which usually took place in the afternoon. Gladiators were typically slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals who were trained in special schools to fight. They used specific types of weapons and armor, and different categories of gladiator, such as the net-wielding retiarius or the heavily armed murmillo, were often pitted against each other in carefully matched pairs. These were not chaotic brawls. They were highly skilled duels governed by rules and referees, with the fate of the loser often decided by the roar of the crowd and the whim of the emperor. Contrary to popular belief, not all gladiator fights ended in death. These fighters were valuable assets to their owners, and their lives would often be spared if they fought bravely and well. The famous thumbs-down gesture is likely a historical myth. A closed fist with the thumb inside might have signified death, while another gesture signaled mercy. Beyond individual combat, the Colosseum also hosted large-scale reenactments of famous battles, and some early accounts even suggest it was temporarily flooded for mock naval battles, or naumachii, showcasing the incredible versatility of this ancient entertainment complex and the Romans' boundless appetite for spectacle. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century, the Colosseum's purpose began to change. The costly gladiatorial games ceased, and the great amphitheatre fell into a long period of neglect. A series of devastating earthquakes, particularly one in 1349, caused large sections of the outer southern wall to collapse, creating the iconic broken silhouette we see today. The once mighty arena was transformed into a source of free building materials. For centuries, its travertine stone blocks and marble seats were plundered and repurposed for the construction of new palaces, churches and bridges across Rome, including St. Peter's Basilica. During the Middle Ages, the ruin took on various new lives. Small workshops and housing were built within its crumbling arcades, and a religious order even established a chapel within its walls. The vast interior, where gladiators once fought, was used for a time as a cemetery, and later as a fortress by powerful Roman families. It was seen not as a precious monument, but as a convenient and well-defended space, a quarry, and a curiosity. Its transformation from a center of imperial power to a multi-purpose, semi-abandoned structure, reflects the changing fortunes of Rome itself during this long and often turbulent period. It was not until the 18th and 19th centuries that serious efforts to preserve the Colosseum began. Popes and civic authorities, recognizing its immense historical and cultural value, initiated projects to clear the debris, excavate the arena floor, and reinforce the remaining structure with brick buttresses. The Catholic Church consecrated it as a site of Christian martyrdom, which helped protect it from further plundering. This shift in attitude marked the beginning of its modern identity as a cherished archaeological site, a monument to be studied and protected rather than exploited for its raw materials. Today, the Colosseum is a globally renowned symbol of Rome and a testament to the ingenuity of Roman engineering. It is one of the world's most visited tourist attractions, drawing millions of people each year who come to walk in the footsteps of emperors and gladiators. In 1980, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, ensuring its continued preservation for future generations. Its elliptical design has influenced the architecture of countless modern stadiums, but its true power lies in its role as a timeless reminder of the glory, the cruelty, and the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire, its stones whispering stories of a world long past.